fuselage of most general aviation aircraft are made of aluminum foil and popsicle sticks. The fuselage of the Grumman is actually solid. It's made from recycled Moonies.
A beach. We're going to Mustang, Texas. It's an island of Texas.
Probably one of the best features is this canopy that opens and I can open it in flight. Sorry.
Tower 11 flight traffic, left base is for the parallel, a tiny little Grumman. Grumman 7 Juliet Bravo traffic departing the parallel, a flight of F-18s.
Alright, tiny little Grumman has the F-18s in sight, thank you.
Good looking tiny little Grumman though, I'll tell you what.
You can fit 4 full-grown adults in this aircraft. Now, it won't take off, but you can fit them in there. So maybe you're waiting for somebody to show up and you need a place to sit. It's a place to be. All right, so this is it. This is the Flight Standards District Office, or FSDO. This is the place that kind of feels like the principal's office. So I knew I wanted a Grumman because I was looking to get a personal aircraft, and a friend of mine named Mike Babin offered to take me for a ride in his Tiger. It was about 102 degrees outside, and we took off and he opened the canopy and immediately I was sold. See those people in those Cherokees? They are hot and sweaty and miserable. It's disgusting. Meanwhile, here in the Grumman, it's like a breezy 62 degrees. It's just awesome. You can really tell a difference with the magenta. I don't know why it's making me talk loud. It's really bright. It's so bright. It's too bright. So I want to line this up and then make sure that the oil is going to drip directly into the oil pan. Let's see if, oh my God, it's so hot. It's so hot. So everything I'm about to show you here are things that I would do and I highly recommend you do before flying a Grumman. You want to knock on wood. You're going to want to take a penny and put it in the tread. Make sure it covers Lincoln's head. If you're a serious pilot, you may not have a penny. You can use a $100 bill or gold doubloon. I don't know what doubloon is. You want to take a shot of whiskey. Maybe 2. You want to rub a balloon on your head and stick it to the rudder. If it doesn't stick, I wouldn't go flying. You're going to want to squeeze all different parts of it. You want to make sure the pitot tube feels smooth. If it doesn't, you want to take one of these. It's a file, especially for the pitot tube. It's called a pitot file. You can Google it. Don't Google it. You're going to want to rub the propeller with essential oils. You might want to set the mood for your flight by reading a book or a poem to your aircraft. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. So you're going to want to check your wing every time you fly. You want to make sure that you get underneath and you check the Newton side. You also want to make sure that you check the Bernoulli side, even though we all know the Bernoulli side doesn't actually do anything. I was very excited at the idea of arriving at Fisk and hearing Blue Grumman rock your wings. And then at that point they did send me to the right. I got to go down to Fisk and land on 3-6. So either way, it was very exciting. And I came this close to hitting the dot, but close enough.
Cessna keeping it, there you go. Cessna keeping the air for 36 right. Keep it in there. Keep it in there, keep it in there, keep it in there, keep it in there. Cessna, stop right there. Go, stop right.
Cessna, go, 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 go. Cessna, touchdown, 36 right. Go, 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 go.
Right low wing, following midfield downwind. You're going to be starting your base turn. Keep your descent coming. Keep your descent coming all the way down. And start your right turn. Start your base. RV, start your base. RV, turn base 180 all the way to the orange dot. Hard turn all the way around. One turn all the way around. Low aircraft over the runway. Keep going. Crop there. Turn your base. Turn your base. Crop duster. Follow behind the tail drag or behind the low wing. Keep your base turn.
This is it. I am on my way to my airport to fly my airplane for the very last time. And I never would have imagined how much I would ever be attached to a chunk of metal. It's a beautiful chunk of metal. I'm struggling a little bit with this one. This is my first plane, and it has been very good to me. It has taken me to some amazing places, and I am sad to let it go. But it's going to a new pilot who's a student pilot. It's a perfect plane for a student, and he's gonna have fun with it. And I told my plane, if he ever hurts you, you find me, you squawk 9900, and I'll come get you. So, all right, gonna take my last flight. So in 2017, I decided I wanted to buy my own airplane, and I went out to Arizona, and I went out to Charlotte, North Carolina to look at some planes that I'd seen. Both planes turned out to be grossly misrepresented in their ads. A friend messaged me on a forum stating that he saw an ad for a Grumman in Connecticut, and I said, I'm not interested. I've just flown across the country twice to be disappointed by two airplanes that weren't even close to how the ad portrayed them, and I just didn't want to deal with it right now. So this friend of mine went ahead and went out to where the plane was located and took some photos of it and said it was a very, very well taken care of aircraft and I should consider coming out to look at it. These are the first photos I ever saw of the airplane at the time, which was 60 Foxtrot Alpha. So I looked it up and found some interesting photos. I guess these folks were into flying this plane around some frozen lakes and landing them out there. Pretty neat looking plane. So after some back and forth and some photos from my friend showing me that it was in good condition, I decided to fly out to Danbury, Connecticut. Naturally, the ceilings were overcast at 200 feet, so there was no chance we were going to get to fly. The plane looked perfect, as far as I could tell, especially compared to the last two experiences. We didn't even fire up the engine in hindsight, which I think is funny, and there were a lot of questions I didn't know to ask, but I could tell by looking at the plane that it was well taken care of. I didn't know what a pre-buy was, so I just called a random mechanic at the field and said, hey, can you go look at this airplane? Here's $500. Just look at the things you'd be most concerned about if you were putting your kids in this plane and stop when the bill reaches $500. No joke, that's exactly what I said. So I bought the plane having never even started the engine. Due to weather and my inexperience with the plane, I opted to have somebody fly the plane to me. And I remember waiting at the airport for hours ahead of time, listening on the radio, waiting to hear 60 Foxtrot Alpha was inbound. The plane landed, and the young kid who flew the plane to me took me up in it for the first time for about 30 minutes, and we did some stalls and steep turns and basic checkout stuff. It was a very simple plane to fly, so there wasn't really a lot of knowledge transfer required. He hopped out, and I drove him to the airport, and then I immediately went back to my new airplane, called my wife to meet me up there. She had to be my first passenger. And so we went up and just flew around for about 15 minutes. Once we got that out of our system, well, you pretty much know the rest. So I bought the plane on June 23rd, 2017, and I sold the aircraft on November 22nd, 2021. So what are we doing here, Jason?
I'm buying your plane, right?
Buying my plane. So this is the best day of his life, and it's not the worst day of my life, but it's definitely, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling very emotional.
Absolutely. Feel like a kid at Christmas.
I feel like a kid who had to put his dog down. And so Jason is now the new owner of what is currently 7 Juliet Bravo. I think the new tail number is 9015 Mike Tango. So waiting for that paperwork to go through. So what are you going to do with this plane?
I'm going to fly it.
You're going to fly it?
Yeah.
So Jason's student pilot working on his private, and this is a going to be the plane that he does it in. It's a fantastic airplane. I'm glad it's going to you.
I appreciate you, Brian.
But and I told the plane earlier, if he ever hurts you, you squawk 7600. I'm coming to get you. So we got 2 keys here. The orange key opens the door, and the green key is the go key.
Okay.
And these are yours now. Okay. I think this is a good plane for you. I think you're really going to enjoy it.
I appreciate it, Brian. Thanks, man.
I can't wait to hear how fun you have flying this plane. It's going to be awesome.
If I could get the keys, I can fly it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Is that the only set of keys?
This guy. Oh, I've got the other set in here. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so glad this plane is going to you, and I could tear up if I thought much about it.
I could tell.
And the only thing worse than selling my Grumman is being flown home in a high wing with this guy.
Hey, YouTube.
Well, I guess this is it. Need to call tomorrow and get the insurance canceled. I don't need the hangar anymore. But I guess, guys, thanks for joining me on these adventures with 897 Juliet Bravo. It was a fun airplane. I enjoyed sharing it with you. But I guess that's it. Thank you. I just thought of the funniest idea for a video. I need to get an airplane. Click this link to see the most recent video upload. Click this link to see a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Click this link to subscribe to my channel.